Hello and welcome to practice. Today we're going to be focusing around the theme of flow and let go. So when we think about flowing, one of the kind of most natural things to go to is the thought of water. And the water element lives and resides within our hip basin. So we're going to be doing some water salutations to help to activate that and to get the stream of water moving so that we can process emotions, process thoughts, kind of process whatever is going on within our day. And we're going to start by finding a comfortable seat and have a block nearby if you have it. We'll use that towards the end of practice. And we're going to find our letting go or Kali Mudra. So once you find your comfortable seat, go ahead and interlace your hands, and then the index fingers extend out with the pads of the fingers touching, and just keep the thumbs crossed right one over the other. Go ahead and place that down in your hip area so you can actually roll the shoulders down and just let the forearms drape down your sides. Close your eyes as you're ready and just take a few cleansing breaths here. And our Kali Mudra, or this mudra of letting go, also aids in purification. So that idea of releasing things that are no longer serving us, whether it's negative thought patterns, negative habits, or maybe just feeling in a rut. Almost feel as if the tension is drawing down away from your face, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, all the way out of the tips of the fingers. Your inhales can really fill up, and feel the exhales rush down your arms and out the hands. Maybe there's something that comes to mind already that you want to really focus your intention on. Otherwise, just be ready to flow and move and bring with it what it may. Take a full deep breath in and a full breath out. Find 2 more breaths like that. Deep breath in and let it release. 1 more full inhale and let it go. And as you're ready, you can release your mudra, wiggle your fingers, you can blink open your eyes. Maybe you rock your head from side to side, getting out a little bit more tension that might be there. And then eventually work your hands palms down to the knees, and then stagger your legs a little bit so that one leg is in front of the other so the ankles aren't colliding. And bring your palms down to ground on your knees and shift your body forward and then off to the right side. Reach back behind you and off to the left. And do this a few times in circles. And you can close your eyes as you circle here and even add a little cat-cow type movement. So as you move forward, thinking that cow back, as you move back, really stretching into the shoulder blades in your cat. And do 1 more full rotation there. Go ahead and pause in center and then rotate direction. So left, back, right, and back around, moving counterclockwise, rotating. Eyes can stay closed or you can gaze open to the space, your choice. And then just find 1 more rotation here going in this direction. Go ahead and settle in center. Close your eyes if they're not already closed and just feel that movement, that swirl that we've already created inside. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And then you can open your eyes and we'll shift to hands and knees. Coming to your mat then, wrists underneath your shoulders and knees right underneath the hips. As you're here, feel the base of your hips back behind you and feel your tailbone and almost feel the ripples start to come from there. So start to find your cat pose, rounding your tailbone, rounding your low back, mid back, shoulders, and then drop from your tailbone, curling the tailbone up, mid back, upper back, shoulders, chest. And continue that ripple, that wave coming from the hips. And you might not be able to fully articulate that, and that's fine, but as long as the intention is there, we'll work that wave of fluidity, that wave of movement from its source point within the body. And just do a few more round circles here, moving up and moving down, and Maybe you just want to find a few quicker pace movements instead, so a little less thought on the curling, but you can kind of really get the waters pumping. And then go ahead and meet in just a neutral tabletop, and you can kind of sway your hips from side to side. Just allow whatever natural movements throughout this practice that want to come in to really come in. And then go ahead and bring your palms forward. Come into a plank pose for just a moment to measure out our down dog. And once you have your plank distance, bend your knees and the tailbone high. And sway and move and flow from side to side. Armpits are wrapping into the heart space. Tailbone's rising, heels are lifted. And stay buoyant here. So keeping the knees bent so the thighs are really lifting. The tailbone's lifting, the hip creases are pulling back. And even though you're feeling buoyant, start to find a little bit more stillness. Armpits wrapping into the heart, ears in line with the shoulders. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Lift your right leg up behind you, bend your knee, stack your hip a few circles just in one direction to start. And then a few in the second, just moving this right hip apart. And then release, reach your right leg back behind you. Step it forward in between your hands, coming to a nice low lunge. And you can drop the back knee down. You can come to blocks if you have two around, or books. You can untuck the back toes, and then kind of similar as we were doing the cat-cow, from the hips start to pull back and lengthen the legs, and the hips push you forward. So feel the movement come from the hips and a little less within the upper body or the legs. Still find the rippling out and up through the shoulders, and then out and down to the foot. And then go ahead and stay within your lunge. Staying here, reach the heart forward, and then tuck the back toes, lift the back knee off the ground. Your left palm will plant down, twist your right hand up towards the sky, and then start to open your hips. So maybe rotating that front foot to the front of the mat as you drop the hips down and get a nice deep outer hip opening. And then come to your wide-legged fold, walking off to the long edge of your mat, paralleling off the feet and bringing the heel just a little bit closer in from that. Lift up halfway and start to sway side to side. So moving kind of towards Skandasana. You don't have to go there quite yet. So just staying open and mobile and really moving in the hips. So if that means that you can go down deeper and keep that mobility, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, stay a little bit higher this first round. And then you can settle right in center. Knees stay bent, and start to fingertip crawl your arms forward, drop your head down, and feeling the knees bent help to really lift and reach the tailbone back, allowing the lower body to stay buoyant and really descend down, your legs descend out through the arms. Walk your hands back in underneath the shoulders, walk over to frame your right foot, coming to your lunge, and then a little tricky here, right leg is going to go in front of the left leg. So you're going to cross at your knees in your cross knee down dog. So the left kneecap is in the back of the right knee, and find a really deep bend here so you can stay contacted and stay connected. Having all 10 toes in line, but having space in between the pinky edges of the feet. Tailbones high and moving the hips really nice and up. From here, start to ripple forward to plank pose. Keep the legs crossed. Up dog, keep the heart rising. Down dog, tailbone lifts back up. Unwind the legs. Come back to hands and knees. And before switching to the second side, keep the hips over the knees and start to crawl the fingertips, maybe the palms down. Forehead or chin can rest down, finding a puppy dog. Tailbone's really high, heart is sloping out and down. And then coming to fingertips, crawl and reach your body forward. Come to your cobra. And we're going to flow this a little bit so you can have your hands further apart. You can be up on fingertips to be really light, and then lift and lower, opposite shoulder, opposite wrist, anything that helps you really let go of tension in the upper body. And then you can settle your body down. Hands next to shoulders, come back to a child's pose. Knees can widen, hips settle on heels. Forehead rests down on the earth. And then start to come back up to your tabletop, hands and knees. From here, we'll find a couple more cat-cows. If you want to flip your wrists around to give a little bit more opening to the collarbones, you can find that as you then articulate the spine, moving up, and from the tailbone, moving out. Finding that wave, moving it out, and maybe you increase the pace a little bit, really feeling that fluidity start to flow and move. And then go ahead and settle yourself down on the next couple of rounds, coming to table. Turn your fingertips back forwards if they were behind you, and then find a plank pose, coming to shoulders over your wrists, heels over ball mounts, and then fold yourself back, downward facing dog. Flow and sway a little bit side to side, moving, finding whatever patterns here the second time to down dog. And then settle, but keep finding that buoyancy. So really keep the heels lifted, keep the tailbone reaching, and keep the knees bent so that the belly has somewhere to rest. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Left leg rises, bend your knee, stack your hip in a few circles in one direction, rotating just this left hip around. And then move to the second direction. And then settle your hip, reach your left leg back, bring your foot forward in between your hands. Right knee will drop down, coming to your nice low lunge. Fingertips can be down or bring blocks back in once again. And from the hips, start to pull the hips back as you lengthen out, and then push forward as you extend. So feel that ripple extend and kind of wave back, just like a wave of a current comes in, and the current also returns back. And then you can stay bent in your front knee, keep reaching the heart out. Place your right palm down and tuck the right toes, lift your back knee, and start to twist your left arm up towards the sky. Finding your twist, and then maybe rotating to the outer edges of the feet, dropping the right hip down to get a little bit more buoyant in the outer hip. Wide-legged fold from here, walking off to the long edge of your mat. And then heels come in, lift up halfway, and start to sway from one way to the next. So maybe this is a little bit lower towards Skandasana, but stay mobile here. So whatever that means to you, you could lift heels if that is helpful in that descent, or you can stay really high. Find your flow, find your wave, a couple more rounds. And then meet in center. Once again, keep the knees bent. Crawl the arms forward, be on fingertips as you allow the ears to really be in between the armpits so the gaze is kind of straight below your head. And then walk your hands back in. Crawl back over to frame your left foot, coming to your lunge. And then your left leg is going to slide in front of your right leg. And you can space your feet out a little bit. So your right kneecap is in the back of the left knee, finding your cross-kneed downward facing dog. Connecting that wave, connecting the legs as you shoot the tailbone up. Hold here, full breath in, and a full breath out. And then find a ripple to plank and keep open as you find your up dog. And then come back, downward facing dog. Unwind the feet, drop down to your knees, finding a table, and then hips stay over the knees as you crawl your arms forward, puppy dog on fingers, on palms, forehead, or on chin. And then your head will lift up, move forward onto your belly once again, and start to flow through a few more rounds of cobras. So hands can separate away from you, flowing, moving. Hips are rooted, heart is lifting up. Child's pose from here, hands next to shoulders, hips go back, folding in, pausing and allowing a little bit of everything to settle. And then you'll start to come back up to table. Maybe find a final couple movements of side to side or cat-cow. But then you'll come back up to downward facing dog. From here, as you're ready, look forward and just tiptoe your feet all the way up to the top of our mat, which will be the starting point of our water salutations. From here, just find a ragdoll for starters. 2 fists in between your feet, opposite hand to elbow, and then buoyantly dangle and bob over the thighs, allowing the tailbone to really reach high. And then release your fingertips down, lift up halfway, and fold yourself down. Slowly rise all the way up to stand. Once you are risen, roll your shoulders up and down your back. And then find your Kali letting go mudra once again. So pointer fingers are together, hands are interlaced, thumbs are crossed. Placing your hands down in line with your hips, rolling the shoulders down. Closing your eyes as you find this sense of stability before we really get our currents moving. Allowing for tension, for tightness, for fatigue to start to rush out as we welcome in new water flowing through and processing whatever needs to be processed. Take one more full breath in and a full breath out. Blink your eyes open, and then on your breath in, inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, and then bend your knees as you fold belly to thighs as the fingertips reach down to the earth. Step your right foot back to a lunge. Keep your toes tucked as you drop your knee down and reach your arms forward and up, rising and opening into the lungs. Take one more full breath here, and then bring your palms to the earth. Left knee is going to slide in front of your right knee, making sure that the feet are nice and equal apart. Knees are bent, tailbones high. Ripple forward through plank pose, finding your upward facing dog. And then tailbone reaches back up. Reach your right foot up and step your foot forward in between your hands. Left knee drops down. Heart rises, opening the chest, the lungs up towards the sky. Take a full deep breath in. Release the hands down. Left ankle behind the right ankle, crossing your ankles in your forward fold. Pause for a halfway lift, and then fold yourself down. Bring your hands together, create a current of energy through your body all the way up and open to the sky. And then bring your palms together and come back down and through. Fingertips release to the earth. Step your left foot back, drop your knee. Anjaneyasana, rise, keeping the back toes tucked. Palms to the earth, right knee slides in front of the left. Cross knee, downward facing dog. Plank to up dog, find that ripple, find the wave, keep the open current, downward facing dog, tailbone back. Left foot lifts up, step your left foot forward, drop your right knee, Anjaneyasana, rise. And fold forward, right ankle crosses behind the left, bowing at the top of your mat. Lift up halfway and fold down. Hands through center, rise and open through the heart. And then bring your palms back together, fold and release. Right foot back, drop your knee, Anjaneyasana, open. Left knee comes back over the right, downward facing dog. Plank to up dog, find that current. Down dog, tailbone back. Right foot forward, building up some heat. Left knee down, right arms lift up. Fold forward, left ankle behind, folding and bowing. Lift up halfway and fold down. Hands through center, rise and open, and then fold right back down and through. Left foot back, drop your knee, heart lifts up. Down dog, pull it back, feel the wave. Up dog, moving open. Down dog, move it back. Left foot steps forward, drop your knee, heart lifts up. Fold, top of your mat, right ankle behind the left. Hands through center, open and rise. One more full round, slow down if needed, fold. Right foot back, drop your knee, heart and arms open. Down dog, left knee in front of the right. Plank to up dog, open. Down dog, back. Right foot forward, drop the knee. Heart and lungs lift. Fold left ankle behind the right. Halfway lift up. Fold yourself down. Hands through center, rise and open. Come back down, one more side. Left foot back, drop your knee, lift the heart. Palms plant, right knee in front of the left. Plank to up dog, wave. Down dog, bring it back. Left foot forward, drop your knee, lift the arms. Fold, right ankle behind the left and bow. Hands come through center, lift up and open. Hands come together, feet separate. Close and pause. Close your eyes and pause right here. Rolling the shoulders, lifting and opening the lungs. Feeling that wave of movement, that wave of momentum, move and ripple through every part of your body. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, arms rise. Fold back down. Halfway lift. We're going to meet back in a down dog, and I'm going to keep with my down dog to up dog wave, and then meet back. So you can find a vinyasa in that point if wanted. Otherwise, you can just keep the hips up in down dog, or find that kind of continued watery flow. From here, lift your right leg up. Bend your knee, stack your hip, and just find the opening of the right hip. Reach your right leg long back behind you. Step your foot forward. Come to a warrior two, left ankle down as your arms windmill and reach up. And give yourself a little bit of time to flow and settle here. So keep the movement going, but take what you need to adjust, to move, to find space in your upper body into the hips. And as you're ready to settle in warrior, we're going to keep with some movements, but find a little dancing warrior version. So a peaceful warrior, right palm up to a side angle, right elbow down. And you can flow this up and down, whatever pace you want. So if you want to really hold one, you can hold one. Otherwise, moving, flowing, transitioning from one to the next. And then go ahead and pause in a warrior. Arms out, stretching. Right knee is bending. Hold here. Still feel the current move even as your body stills. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Flip your right palm, peaceful warrior, lift up. And then bring your palms down to the earth. Find your twisted lunge. Left heel lifts, left palm plants as your right arm lifts up. Maybe rolling to the outer edges of the hip, coming down. And then Skandasana, left side, holding here. Maybe staying a little bit deeper within the hips. Left fingertips can crawl out as the right arm reaches up. And you can bring your hands down, come to the second side, crawling over, reaching, right arm down, left arm up. Hands can come down, wide-legged fold, bending the knees, keep the buoyancy of the hips, fingertips reach out as the head drops down. And then lift up halfway, crawl your hands over to frame your right foot. Bring your right knee in front of the left, coming to your cross-kneed downward facing dog once again. From here, you're going to start to rotate your ankles to the back right corner of your mat to flip your heels around and reach your left arm up to a flip dog position. So finding that connection to open and reach, and then meet back in that cross-knee down dog, crossing the legs, taking that as slow as you need. From here, plank to up dog, down dog. Uncross the legs if they're still crossed. Move around, adjust, take a moment, take a breath. And then reach your left leg up. Bend your knee, stack your hip, moving the left knee up to open through the left hip, finding the currency. Reach your left leg back, step it forward. Warrior two, right heel down as the arms rise up. And right away, start to move, start to flow, start to adjust, and open through here. Finding whatever you want in the upper body and the lower body to get settled and to get adjusted. And go ahead and settle in warrior as you're ready, but moving this to then your dancing warriors. Left arm up through peaceful to side angle, back and forth, and continue to add whatever you might need in, but some side body extension might feel really nice here. And you can eventually make your way back to a warrior two, finding that reach, finding the depth in the hips. Hold for a full breath in and a full breath out. Flip your left palm, peaceful warrior, and then come down, meeting in your twisted lunge, right palm to the earth as your left arm lifts up. And then you'll roll maybe to the outer edges of the feet as you bring your hand back. And then Skandasana to the right side. Arms can reach out. Maybe you find a bind here around your right leg, opening and breathing with the lungs. So find the lift, the buoyancy before any further arm variation. Hands can release. Come back to the other side. Arms can open, can stay here, or can bind and reach around. And then you'll meet in a wide-legged fold, coming back. Feet go to a little bit more parallel, but knees are bending, arms are reaching, resting your body out. Crawl your hands back in, lift up halfway. Crawl your hands over to frame your left foot, and then left knee slides in front of the right knee. And from here, we're going to find that little pivot. So you're going to start to bring your ankles off to the left side, and eventually pointing towards the top of the mat as you reach your right arm up, finding a flip dog from here, rotating and moving the hip points up, and then flip yourself right back over. Left knee is then back in front of the right. Plank to your up dog, find a wave, come right back. And then separate your feet, finding that little space, and meet in a child's pose, knees wide, toes touch, resting the hips down to the earth. And you can stay with palms to the ground, or maybe you lift up to fingers and continue to find that length and reach of the upper body as the tailbone and hips continue to reach back. And take one more full breath in and a full breath out. And start to sway a little bit side to side. Eventually coming back up, you can move through a tabletop in a little transition, maybe a couple cat-cows, and then eventually downward facing dog, palms plant, hips rise. And then you can lift your right leg up. You can bend your knee once again, opening. And then you're going to step your right foot forward in between the hands. Come to an Anjaneyasana. The left toes can stay tucked, or you can keep them untucked as then your arms rise and reach. And we're going to hold this for a little bit longer, so at least a few rounds of breath. So if you want to add in your letting go mudra, connect the palms, interlace the fingers, and then extend the pointer fingers out and away as the thumbs cross one over the next. Keep the heart lifted, keep the pelvis moving forward and up to allow the current to move for whatever needs to let go. Let go. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, exhale. One more full breath in. Let it all go. Bring your hands down to frame your right foot. You're going to stay forward with the right shin, but you're going to heel toe the right foot off to the left side, and you can angle the shin as much as you'd like to come into your half pigeon. But stay lifted for a few moments. Stay up on fingers, and we're going to flow in and out of this. So adding those flowing cobra type variations as we lift, as we lower, and eventually as you want to still, you can come all the way down to your forearms. And then you can bring your head down onto your hands or onto your block, resting your forehead and taking a few nice long deep breaths in and out right here. allowing your mind and your body to still more and more. And just take one more full breath in and a full breath back out. And then you can start to come back up to your fingertips. Crawl your hands back in towards the right shin. Start to tuck the left toes, lift the back knee, and you'll meet back, downward facing dog. And take as much time as you need to pedal out your right hip, and maybe you need to move it around in some circles, just bringing in a little bit more movement after having been bent. And then as you're ready to settle, go ahead and lift your left leg up. You can bend your knee if you want to, and then bring your knee towards your belly to step your foot in between your hands. Drop your right knee down, back toes could stay tucked, or you can untuck them as you reach your arms forward and up, coming into your Anjaneyasana. And then once again, since we'll be here for a few moments, maybe connecting to your letting go mudra, extending open through the heart, allowing the tension to roll down your backs and shoot out of the fingertips, taking a full breath in and a full breath out. Deep inhale and a full breath out. One more full inhale and let it all go. Hands come down to frame your left foot, and then your left shin will stay forward, but start to inch your left toes off to the right side. Drop your knee down. Your shin can stay pretty angled. You can walk your right knee back a little bit. And stay up on fingertips. Lift open and then flow down. A couple rounds like this, allowing for some movement to come in before eventually finding more of that settled half pigeon shape. So go ahead and come down. You can come down to forearms, staying there. Or you could drop all the way down to the tops of the backs of your hands for your forehead to rest. And just take a couple more deep breaths here. Take one more breath in and release it out. And then start to lift your forehead back up. Crawl your fingertips back in towards your shin. And then come back to your down dog as you're ready, shaking out your left leg as you need to, reawaken it, move around the hip, readjust, and move. And then you'll come down to your tabletop, and we'll find one final puppy pose to really get the tailbone lifted. So starting to crawl the fingertips or the palms up, tailbone stays high, and find that slope of the back, chin or forehead on the ground. And then from here, you can slide all the way onto the belly. Maybe find one more little cobra pose. And then you'll lower the heart down. Make sure your block is around, and go ahead and roll onto your backs. And then we're going to find a little supported bridge here. So we're going to stay up pretty low with the block, so you can have it on either the lowest setting here or just one more up, but don't go any further than that. And go ahead and press into your feet once you're ready, lifting the hips up to slide the block underneath your hips, and make sure it's level across the sacrum, back behind. Knees can stay bent here, allowing the hips to rise, or if you want to extend the feet out, you could find a little bit more of that kind of really open bridge type position with the hips rising up really high, sending that watery nourishment down through the head and through the feet. You can let your eyes close here, taking a few breaths in and a few breaths out. And you can always stay right here, or you can start to walk the feet in to lift the knees and the legs up towards the ceiling. So maybe palms reach down at that point, finding this little supported waterfall shape. Hips are rising, legs are up, allowing for that channel of energy to reverse through the body, to cleanse and purify and move through any sluggishness that might be within. And you are welcome to hold in this shape or your supported bridge for as long as you wish. And knowing that when you're ready to release the block, you can bend your knees back into the belly, place the feet back down underneath the knees, and then slide the block out to one side. You can let your feet go wide, knees knock in, maybe hands to the hips, and just take a moment here. And then you can reach your arms out to a T and just find a little windshield wiper, a little bit more movement. And eventually fall off to one side, taking a moment. And press yourself up to your most comfortable seat, just like as we started. Let the legs stagger one in front of the other. Find your letting go mudra one final time, interlacing the fingers, extending the pointer fingers. Drop that in the space of your hips. Roll the shoulders back. Keep the eyes closed or reclose them if they've peeked open. And allow yourself to breathe and sit here to purify your thoughts, your minds, your body, allowing for the release of whatever's hanging on, allowing your body to really be nurtured in that ability to flow and let go. And take one full breath in together and a full breath out. Bring your palms, palm to palm, thumbs to the sternum, keeping the head bowed heavy. And from the light and the love that lives within me, may it honor and shine the light and the love that lives within each and every one of you. Namaste.